the government has removed the 15 months wait for eligible private homeowners buying a non-subsidized HDB resale flat. Does that mean HDB prices are about to surge? Let's break it down. Hello, my name is Belle. I help property owners navigate the market to avoid costly mistakes before they commit. So do contact me if you'd like to discuss your situation and we can work through it together. So what changed? Previously, private property owners have to dispose their private property first, wait 15 months before they can purchase a HDB resale flat. The exception is for private owners aged 55 years and above if they purchase a 4-room flat or smaller. So from 28th July 2026, this 15 months wait out period has been removed, provided they do not take a HDB housing loan for this purchase. So instead of selling first, waiting the 15 months, private property owners now can purchase an eligible HDB resale flat first. They must then dispose all their private properties, whether in Singapore or overseas, within 6 months of completing the HDB purchase. So do take note that this change applies only to non-subsidized HDB resale flats purchased without a HDB housing loan. So non-subsidized means not receiving any housing subsidies like CPF housing grants from HDB. For those who are buying a subsidized flat, the 30 months wait out period still applies. So to sidetrack a bit, what is this 30 months wait out period about? So this existing 30 months wait out period after disposing of their private property still applies for subsidized flat. This means a new flat from HDB like BTO or sale of balance flat with or without grants, because BTO is already at a subsidized price, or a resale flat with housing grants. It also applies if a buyer is buying an EC unit directly from a developer, and for those who are planning to take a HDB loan. So this 15 months wait out period was implemented in September 2022 to moderate the demand for HDB resale flats and help prioritize HDB flats for Singaporeans with more urgent housing needs, such as first-time homeowners. So the government said at that time that it will be a temporary measure. So the HDB resale price index has recorded 7 consecutive quarters of slower, flat or negative growth. So the last 2 quarters particularly, we are seeing minus 0.1% and minus 0.3% quarter on quarter. So this goes actually in tandem with the ramp up in new flat supply. The government has actually set a target of 55,000 new BTO flats for 2025 to 2027. So now that the market conditions have improved, the government feels that the measure has met its purpose and can be removed. So how does this impact the market? Firstly, the HDB resale market. So more eligible buyers may enter the market with demand potentially concentrated in the bigger flat types like 5-room flats, executive apartment, maisonette, or recently MOP flats, and as well as the larger flats in mature or well-connected estates. So private homeowners who sold and cashed out their property and previously looking to right-size to a smaller private property now have the option to go for a bigger HDB flat. Next, private resale. More owners may now consider selling their private properties without having to wait out these 15 months before they buy a HDB flat. And the 6 months disposal deadline for those who buy first can encourage more realistic pricing and maybe in some cases selling pressure within that window. Then the rental market. Lower interim rental demand from this group of private property owners is possible since fewer owners may need temporary accommodation without the need to wait out. So on a whole, the national effect may still be modest as this is not a huge group of people who rent. Other factors like employment, immigration, household formation and new completions typically will influence rent more strongly. So, will the HDB resale market go up? So this removal actually benefits private owners who do not need a HDB loan or grants. So this group tends to look for larger or premium flats such as 5-room, EA, EM, or the newly MOP flats, rather than the larger, broader resale market where most buyers actually still rely on grants or loans and remain governed by the existing rules. So in short, I think the overall impact on HDB resale is likely to be limited since this is beneficial to only a certain group of people. Otherwise, don't you think this measure won't even be removed in the first place? Now let's consider the high impact scenario. This isn't the normal case, but just one possible outcome if the market reacts very strongly to this removal. So first, we may see a noticeable release of pent-up demand as more eligible private homeowners who have been waiting finally can enter the HDB resale market. Then, second, this could lead to a stronger increase in private resale listings as owners are able to right-size or exit their private homes sooner. And third, we may see softer demand for selected rental unit types as fewer buyers need temporary homes while waiting to buy the HDB resale flat. So of course, whether this scenario materializes will depend on market response, market sentiments, and the broader economic conditions. What will be interesting to look out for over the next 6 to 12 months will be first, the HDB resale activity, especially for 5-room flats and executive flats. Second, private resale listings to see if more owners are right-sizing. And finally, the rental market to see if demand for temporary rentals eases. So these three indicators will tell us whether this policy change has a meaningful impact or is just a limited one. So if you have some thoughts and would like to discuss further, feel free to reach out to me. This is Belle Tan signing off. I will catch you in the next episode.